Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of the NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode. I hope you're all having a great day today. We go racing here in the Truck Series, Xfinity Series, as well as the Cup Series. And as you can kind of see from maybe the thumbnail and whatnot, we have Sonoma on the thumbnail, but we have Michigan to start things off here in the Cup race. So you might have an idea of what's going to happen, but you guys will see what happens very shortly. But we start things off here at Texas Motor Speedway in the Truck Series with our team, where we had subscriber Connor O'Clair in the truck for us here tonight in the speedcash.com 400 at Texas Motor Speedway. So excited to get underway now for what we've got 4 wins on the season in the Truck Series right now with our team. So it's been a tremendous start to the season. We've clearly been the dominant team, and the closest driver or team to us with wins is just one. That's the most wins any other driver has here in the Truck Series right now at this point in the season. So hoping that we can pick up win number 5 here on the season in the Truck Series here tonight with Connor O'Clair behind the wheel of our number 77 Allegiant truck here as it goes down into turn 3, and he would get aggressive right off the bat, going 3 wide through the middle on this first and opening lap through turns 3 and 4, getting up the inside of drivers like Tyler Ankrum, going around Ben Rhodes as well as at number 16. So he just continued to move his way forwards very quickly here at Texas Motor Speedway. We come through to a little bit later in the race. He had now gotten up inside the top 5 after passing Rajah Caruth, and then he would get up behind that 38 truck as he came through out of turn 2, and he would make a pass on him and then get up into P3 as he came through a little bit later, making a move though 3 wide for the lead into turns 1, and now Connor O'Clair puts our truck out front here in the late stages of this race at Texas Motor Speedway and would not look back. We came through right to the final lap of this race here in Texas, down into turns 3 and 4 here for the final time, trying to hold off the 40 truck as it came through out of turn 4, and for the 5th time already this season, our truck will go to victory lane with Connor O'Clair behind the wheel here tonight. So win number 5 on the season, can't complain whatsoever. A great season it has been, and it just continues to be successful for us now as we pick up the victory. As you see the rest of the finishing order on your screen here from Texas now is Grant and Finger down there in P21, Rafael Lessard down there in the mid-20s, and Joe Nemechek finishes in the last position as Connor would go do his burnout. So a dominant season so far, and hopefully we can continue this momentum all the way throughout the rest of the season into the playoffs, and just continue racking up these playoff points before we get to the playoffs, so that way we can almost have like a free pass into the Final Four. That would be really nice. But now we come through into the Xfinity Series. I just simmed this race now. I'll show you guys the results, but basically Sheldon Creed picked up his first Xfinity Series victory here at Michigan. So very cool for Sheldon Creed, who moved up from the Truck Series in that number 2 truck to the number 10 car for Colleague Racing, and now picks up his first win now in the 13th race of the Xfinity Series season. So now though, we come through into the Cup Series weekend at Michigan, and like I said, as you guys can tell by the thumbnail and whatnot, you probably got an idea of what's going to happen in this race now as we go down towards turns 1 as well as the title maybe even now. As we came through though into qualifying, we were running the primary Razor paint scheme that Renato made and did a great job with. I love running this paint scheme so much now. As we come through though out of turns 4 to complete our qualifying lap, the goal was a 38.640, and I do not quite beat that goal. We come through to cross the line with the 39.126 and qualify P17 here for the Firekeepers Casino 400 here at Michigan International Speedway now, as we are going to check out the rest of the qualifying order. At the very bottom, we got the number 34 of Michael McDowell, Bubba Wallace down there in P29, our teammate of Elliott down there in like 22nd, and to round out the top 10 is Noah Gregson, but on pole, it is Matt DiBenedetto with Joey Logano returning from suspension here on the front row on P2. Alright boys, we've been running really good lately with just the wins and whatnot, the seconds and the third places we've been getting, so hopefully we can come out of here with another good run today. I don't know if we'll be a winning car, but let's go find out. There you heard my radio message to the team now as we're ready to get going here for the Firekeepers Casino 400 at Michigan International Speedway now, as you see the stories of the race. Joey Gase, he is starting at the back with an engine change after qualifying, although he was going to be starting back there anyways. Now as you see on pole though, Matt DiBenedetto in the 10 car looking for a second win on the season. Logano looking for win number 3, fresh off of his suspension last episode now, as we get ready to take the green flag here on the inside behind the 47 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Now as the green flag is out, and we are underway. DiBenedetto, Logano lead the way to the green flag now as we get underway for this first and opening stage here, which is 14 laps here in Michigan. Now right behind us though, we got the McLaren driver. I believe that was Zane Smith behind myself here as we went down into turn 1 up the inside of the 21 of Austin Cindric, who moves back to the 21 car for this episode. Last episode, you remember, Cindric replaced Joey Logano at Kansas Speedway, and then Hailie Deegan actually replaced Cindric in the 21 for a race in her Cup Series debut, which was a very good debut. She ran top 10 all race long, finished top 10, and even led a few laps, and then Cindric actually came up in the second position, just behind Denny Hamlin, who picked up his first victory, of the season. Now as we dive up the inside there of the 5 of Larson, caught me off guard a little bit. He was a little bit slow out of turn 4, so I lunged to the inside, and now as we go down this front straightaway, completing the first and opening lap here as we go down into turn 1, but early on, Martin Truex Jr. has taken the lead and is already opening up a gap to second place of Chase Briscoe, as I would get to our rival of Joey Logano. Very interested to see how he's going to be racing us, but we clear him out of turn 4, no problems at all. So we've already dealt with the 22 for at least this first stage, I felt like, so we were hopeful that we wouldn't have to worry about him now, as I'm trying to help out my teammate of Alex Bowman, giving him a big push. He's in a bad position right now on the outside looking in terms of the playoffs. He's had multiple DNFs this season, and that has really put him in that position where he has to get a lot of good finishes here if he's going to make the playoffs this season. So we come through at a turn 2, now running in P11, but then we would run down Christopher Bowe now as we came through to lap 5 of this first stage, get up the inside of him. But you look up ahead, Martin Truex Jr. opening up a big gap between himself and second place of Chase Briscoe and the rest of the field. So we would pass, though, the 20 car of Bell, move into the top 10 as we came through at a turn 4. Now as we came through, though, to lap 6 into turns 3, up the inside of the 48 of Alex Bowman, trying to make a pass on him for that 9th spot now as Gregson runs up there in P8 just in front of us. Hamlin up in 7th, Blaney up there towards the top 5 now as a caution, though, comes out for the first time here today at Michigan now, as everybody will be staying out here. We will be getting ready to go green from the 10th position. Larson, he's dropped down to now P17. Elliott still running kind of rough now, as you see Timmy Hill at the very bottom of the field. So not sure who brought out the caution, as it appears nobody was coming into the pit lane, but either way we get ready to take the green flag here for the restart in P10. Noah Gragson, Denny Hamlin just in front of us now is the McLaren of Eric Jones up there now in P4 as the green flag is back out. Cole Custer has now moved himself up into second place. Surprised he hasn't picked up his first career win yet here in the career mode, as he's been running strong, just hasn't quite been able to get far enough to pick up a race victory. Eric Jones in the McLaren looking to get McLaren's first ever victory here today if he can play his cards right. Zane Smith right there just behind us now looking to our inside. A very poor restart on this outside line now as we come through out of turn 2, so we drop down to P12 just behind Kevin Harvick, the 2014 Cup Series champion now, as we try to clear the 7 of Smith, which we would, so we would be able to get in behind Harvick, who was now 3 wide down the front straightaway for a moment with Bell as well as Gregson, and I was just kind of following Kevin Harvick, giving him a push down the straightaway here with 4 laps to go in stage 1 as Truex tries to once again just run away from the field and hang on to the stage 1 victory as we go down into turn 1 right on that back bumper of the 4 of Harvick, having to do a lot of throttle control to make sure I don't run into the back of him now as we come through out of turn 2, 3 wide in front of us, and they would continue 3 wide now as we came through out of turn 2 now on lap 12, and Harvick was still side by side with Gregson and Busch, but now I stick my nose up the inside. Actually, Kyle Busch was actually out of the 3 wide at this point. Now I'm trying to make it 3 wide though myself as we go down into turn 3, as I took this opportunity to get up to hopefully about P8 or so now as we are approaching just 2 laps to go in stage 1 as we exit turn 4, still 3 wide down the front straightaway now, and this would continue again into turns 1. We were still 3 wide with Harvick and Gregson as we came through out of turn 2 with now 2 laps to go in this stage. Going down the back straightaway, Bowman in 7th, Hamlin 6th, or 3 wide up in front of us with Blaney, Briscoe, as well as Jones in the McLaren, but Gregson now gets clear of Harvick, so now we go down into turns 3, and we were just settling into a 2 wide with the number 1 car of Noah Gragson now as we approach the final lap in stage 1 as we come through out of turn 4. So Gregson gets clear right there for 8th place as Hamlin is under attack from that 48 of Bowman. Now I get back up the inside with help from the draft of that 1 car of Gregson as we start the final lap here in stage 1. And you see Truex continues to just drive away as now Jones battles for second with Ryan Blaney here at the end of stage 1. Now as I get onto the apron actually, and we're going to go spinning out of turn 2 into the side of the 2 of Keselowski, now into the 18 and to the wall, and the caution is out, but we are done for the day here at Michigan International Speedway. Here a whole bunch of carnage going on as I lost control and slammed the wall, and we have DNF'd here in Michigan. I'm so sorry, guys. That was all on me. A stupid mistake. I'm so sorry. There you heard myself on the radios. There's still carnage going on here after the caution, but that was it. And here's the finishing order from that race. Eric Jones picked up McLaren's first victory of the season, and that puts him now in the playoffs. So the McLaren team has picked up a victory. It's really unfortunate you can't get replays or the finishing order right in the actual race when you DNF. Second time of our Cup Series career that we have DNF now, but there you see, like I said, the finishing order, very disappointing. Now, as I got on the apron and I got on the brakes when we went around, and I thought we were going to be okay, but when I hit Kyle Busch, it turned my back end of the car into the barrier, and it seems that hitting the wall with my back end was what caused us to DNF. So that was extremely unfortunate, but you see the playoff grid. So Jones in the playoffs now, and now Kyle Larson, Blaney, Keselowski, Custer, and Briscoe are the ones in on points. Cindric 12 out, Gregson 19, Harvick 25, Bowman now 47. So it's going to be a really tight battle, I think, if it continues like this for the rest of the regular season. But we were only like 10 minutes into the video, so I decided we are going to do yet another race weekend, because it's not fitting to end it like that now. So we come through into the next race weekend, where we're actually going to go road course racing here in the Cup Series now. But first, we have, once again, the Truck Series as well as the Xfinity Series races to take care of. So we come through now into Iowa for the Truck Series, where we had subscriber Isaac Perdomo in the truck for us, and once again, just fresh off of the 5th win of the season in the last race at Texas, we were getting very aggressive here with Isaac coming through out of turn 2, making some 3 wide moves, moving himself towards the top 10 very quickly here on this first and opening lap as he went down into turn 3 here in the M&M's 200. Now, as he came through, though, a little bit later, moving his way forwards continuously up the inside of the 16, passing him, then you'd get to the back of the 22 of Austin Wayne Self, as there were 3 wide behind him now between the 16, the 99, as well as the 23 of Brett Moffitt now, as we came through, though, out of turn 4. So Isaac moving his way forwards now, passing the 38 as well, and he got himself up into 4th place. Then he would run down the 18 truck for 3rd place and get up the inside of him, and came through out of turn 2 trying to make the pass, and sure enough, he would pass him for 3rd, and then he would run down the 2 of Rajah Caruthia in the final laps of this race, and out of turn 2 he would pass him as well, but unfortunately it was too late to go for the race victory. We come through to the final lap here in Iowa in the M&M's 200 as it goes down into turns 3 and 4 for the final time, and now it is going to be a runner-up 2nd place finish as it comes through out of turn 4, actually getting into the wall there, and then gets hit from behind from the 18, nearly giving up that runner-up finish of 2nd, and then they go crashing after the line into turns 1, but it was a 2nd place finish here for Isaac Perdomo. Now, as you see the rest of the finishing order, rounding out the top 20 was Josh Rayome, and then down towards the bottom of the field we had Jason White and then Angela Rush. Now, as we come through into the Xfinity Series weekend, we're actually just simmed this race again. It was myself in the car for both Xfinity Series races, but Derek Kraus picked up the victory here in Iowa for the 2nd time this season. He has won. Our car finished 16th, and honestly, I think simming the race got me a better finish than what we would have if I actually done the race, because I am really bad at Iowa in the Xfinity Series specifically. Now, as I definitely need to try and do some setup things there. But we come through now into the 2nd Cup race of the episode here at Sonoma Raceway. The first time this season we will go road racing. Very excited for this one, as I always feel like road racing is actually my specialty, even though I've grown up doing oval stuff. Now, as we came through, though, to start our qualifying lap, the goal was a 1:33.606, so we come through now the middle portion of the course, and we were getting through the track pretty well now, as I felt like it was a decent lap. You see me go way too deep into the final turn, though, so that was a bit of a mistake, and then I had a loss of grip on the exit, but I still felt like overall it was a decent lap. So we come through heading down to the line, and it is going to be a better lap than our goal with a 1:33.066, and we qualify P8 for the Toyota Save Mart 350 here at Sonoma Raceway. Now, as we're going to check out the rest of the qualifying order, on pole, Joey Logano, so his 2nd race back now, and he's on pole. Chase Elliott up there in 2nd. Elliott, of course, I've given Elliott the best rating of any driver for road courses, so we always expect to see him running well here at Sonoma and Watkins Glen and the Roval and whatnot, and Chad Fincham, though, at the very bottom of the field. Alright, boys, sorry about that DNF last race. Hopefully we don't do anything stupid here today. But, yeah, we know what we're capable of on road courses. I've shown that in the 20 car, so hopefully we can have a good run here today and maybe be in the mix for the win. There you heard myself on the radio, still not over that DNF from Michigan now, as that was just so stupid now when I caught that apron at the wrong time. Now, as you see, though, Austin Dillon gave up his qualifying position for a new set of tires, so he is starting at the back, along with Daniel Suarez, who crashed during qualifying. Suarez already in the playoffs, though, with that victory earlier this season now, as we get ready to take the green flag here in the Toyota Save Mart 350 at Sonoma Raceway. Now on the inside line, right behind the 21 of Austin Cindric, the rookie, who is also known for being very good at road course racing. As we are underway here in Sonoma, on the right-hand side, we got our teammate of Alex Bowman, who came up just short of a victory last race in Michigan. He finished second, and I was emphasizing how much he needs to just improve on, I guess, the luck and just have no DNFs if he wants to make it into the playoffs this season. And he backed that up, like I said, with a second place at Michigan. So hopefully this is maybe a turnaround point for that 48 team now, as he has not really been able to pick up any victories since he's gone into that 48 car either. Hopefully we can see that change. He came up just short in Michigan, of course, behind Eric Jones and the McLaren now, as we clear, though, the 48 car of Alex Bowman, and now hold on to P7 as we go down into the carousel, lunging up the inside of both Briscoe and Cindric 3 wide. We pull it off, move up into P5 now as Elliott leads over Joey Logano. So Elliott took the lead now, as we're going to try and maybe make a 3 wide move now on Hamlin and Truex. Yes, we do, and already going to move up into the 3rd position here on this first and opening lap in Sonoma Raceway. So a tremendous start for this 24 team now as we come through out of the right-hander. They got a little bit close there on the exit of the corner behind us between Truex and Hamlin. Looked like there might have been a little bit of contact made between them both. Now as we come through the S's portion of the course, so clearly showing we have a lot of speed here in this number 24 Razor Camaro today as we go down towards this right bend leading down towards the final corner of the course. But Sonoma, not my favorite road course on the schedule for sure. Probably my least favorite between Watkins Glen, the Roval, and then of course Sonoma here, but still a ton of fun to drive this road course now as we come through out of the final hairpin heading down to the line. But we just spend this first and opening stage trying to run down the 22 and the 9 of Logano and Elliott, and we come through now to the second lap, and sure enough we were closing in on the back of the 2 of Joey Logano, or of the 22, sorry, of Joey Logano in that second position. We come through now a lap later on lap 3 with 3 laps to go in stage 1 through the carousel, closing in a little bit more on the back of him now as we came through, getting way wide there on that curbing, but we would run him down by the time it came to 2 laps to go, right to his back bumper. Now we're approaching the final lap in stage 1, as these first 2 stages always fly by at every road course in the game now as we go down through the S's, and maybe NASCAR could be looking at potentially in the career mode maybe taking away stages at road courses. Maybe not, you'll have to wait and see, especially I think in the next NASCAR game, if we have control over stages and whatnot, we might take stages right out for road course racing, especially since we're going to have 7 of those. But we come through now to the final lap here in stage 1, now to the right hand side of Joey Logano down this back straightaway towards the right-hander. Elliott leads the way now as I go way deep into the corner now, within a car length of hitting the 9 car, so I go way wide trying to make the corner, and unfortunately we give that spot right back to the 22 of Joey Logano now as we come through into the S's. So a bit of a mistake there on my part, but fortunately we did not take anybody out now, and we still hold on to that 3rd position here as we come through the S's for the final dime down towards the penultimate corner here for this final lap in stage 1. Chase Elliott started 2nd, took the lead right off the bat from Joey Logano, and dominates his first and opening stage, and he is going to easily hang on through this final hairpin and will come through down the front straightaway to pick up the stage victory and add another playoff point to his name after picking up a handful of playoff points recently with that Coca-Cola 600 victory as we come through to cross the line here in P3 for stage 1. So a very solid first stage for us overall, though. Alex Bowman in P4, so we got 3 Hendrick cars right now inside the top 5 here in Sonoma. Now, as a lot of Hendrick drivers seem to be well known for being relatively solid at road course racing, Hendrick Motorsports has a good road racing program now, but Kyle Larson, on the other hand, right now, is not doing very well. I don't even think he's inside the top 10, unfortunately, currently at the end of this first stage, and as you can see, no, he is not. Zane Smith up there in P8, Austin Cindric rounds out the top 10. Larson actually outside of the top 20 even. He's kind of been going into a bit of a slump, it feels like, lately too here. Ryan Blaney actually in lap down. He has DNF'd from this race, but Blaney has done very well on points, so I don't think it's going to be too impactful for him now as we get ready, though, to go green for the start of stage 2. No pit stops were necessary. We get ready to go green from P3, where we will now go into the AMP segment for the start of the second stage. You saw it all happen right there in the amped segment. We were able to get past Joey Logano in the number 22 car to take over the second position behind Chase Elliott. It was a little bit physical to get past that 22, but we made it happen either way now as Alex Bowman, he's moved into P3, so it was an all Hendrick Motorsports 1, 2, 3 right now, and then Larson like 20th place. Now as we came through to the second lap, we were actually closing in on the back of the 9 of Chase Elliott, and it honestly felt like he was starting to fall off because I got right to the back of him in the hairpin, actually roughing him up a little bit now as he gets a little bit sideways out of the final corner, but holds on to the lead. No problem here as we go down this front straight. The 9 actually hits the wall there, and I'm now going to attack on that opportunity. Look to the right-hand side of him as we came through to the third lap of the stage, but we're still going to be side by side as we come through up the hill into these first few corners alongside the 9 of Chase Elliott. Now trying to hang on to the car, got a little bit loose there, and Elliott attacks back and hangs on to that lead. Now as Denny Hamlin's actually passed Alex Bowman, moved into P3, so Bowman down to 4th, but Hamlin showing a tremendous amount of speed all of a sudden here as we go down into the right-hander, trying to keep that pressure on the back of the 9 because I think we can pass him again. Yes, we do. We look to the right-hand side into the grass a little bit, trying to do a pass in the grass at Sonoma Raceway here as we go down to that carousel side by side with Elliott. We clear him though into the carousel, but I go wide and that opens the door right back open for the 9 of Elliott, our teammate now as we come through out of that carousel. Hamlin to the back of us now as I get a good run here down the backstretch, and we will be able to re-clear that 9 car of Chase Elliott now as it's 1, 2, 3, 4 just under a blanket right now as we come through into the middle section of this course. But now that we have taken the lead, I was just trying to settle in and focus and try to run away with the potential stage 2 victory, and sure enough we come through to 2 laps to go now in stage 2, and we had opened up a nice gap between myself and Elliott. And like I mentioned, it really seemed like that 9 car was starting to fall off as we came through to complete the first few laps of that second stage now, as he had absolutely nothing, but in stage 1 I couldn't even run him down. So definitely something going on there with the 9 of Chase Elliott as we came through though to start the final lap of stage 2. Going down into the carousel, I make a bit of a mistake here on the final lap in the stage. You saw me hop up on 2 wheels, I'm stuck in the grass, and now Elliott's all of a sudden back into the mix here as we come through out of the carousel. But fortunately we got such a good run right there that we would be able to actually open up the gap to him there, and we were pretty safe here. As now I was just like, okay, we're just gonna hang on here for the stage victory, but then I actually go a little bit too deep there, but fortunately we hang on as Hamlin makes a move up the inside of Elliott, passes him for second. Bowman even tries to pass Elliott as well for that 3rd position now as we go down into the S's for the final time here in stage 2. So now no pressure whatsoever from behind, so no reason to throw away a stage victory here as we come through into the penultimate corner now on this final lap in stage 2. Ryan Blaney still the only driver that has DNF'd. You can see he's on the pit lane now as we go down into the hairpin here for the final time in stage 2. And now as we come out of the corner, we're going to come through to pick up the stage victory and get another playoff point now, as we're hoping to potentially pick up win number 3 on the season here today at Sonoma Raceway as we cross the line for the stage win. Good stuff, boys. I'm kind of surprised by how hard the 9 was falling off there. I don't know if something is going on with him, but yeah, I don't know if we got a race-winning car overall, but maybe if it has a long run on some motor tires, we can do that again, just like we did here in stage 2. So we might actually have something here. So we would come into the pit lane here at the end of the second stage for the first time today in Sonoma, as we will take 2 cans of fuel as well as 4 fresh tires and get ready to go green from hopefully the first position in this 3rd and final stage now as we get ready to go green alongside Denny Hamlin. Bowman actually overtakes Elliott on the pit lane. Logano up to 5th, 3 positions up after the pit stop. We're ready to take the green flag for the 3rd and final stage, which is now underway here at Sonoma Raceway. Now, just 14 laps to go here in the final stage, which is now over double the length of stage 1, and if it stays green the whole way, and it has stayed green technically the whole way today other than the stage cautions, then we are going to be very, very close on the fuel situation now as we're side by side with Denny Hamlin up through these first few corners now, as he's not going to back down very easily. He definitely seemed to have a good chunk of speed in that 11 car, and he clears us for a moment, but I launch back up the left-hand side trying to make sure he cannot clear us, but I make a mistake right there, and now that allows the 11 of Denny Hamlin to get clear as we come through heading down towards this carousel. I did not want to let that 11 get away, so I actually lunge up the inside into the carousel here, now side by side at his door as we come through on the exit of the corner. Behind us, Bowman, Elliott still side by side now as we go down this back straightaway, doing what I can to clear the 11, and we do clear him really without any issues here as we go down into the corner, but he actually gets back up my right-hand side as we come through into the right-hander now, as it appears that there was a pylon knocked over, but I actually went wide, giving up the lead to Denny Hamlin again here as we come through into the S's. Elliott has cleared the 48 of Alex Bowman now for that third position as he tries to hang on and maybe run us back down here up front. But I definitely underestimated the speed that 11 car has. I knew he had a good bit of speed in that car, but you're going to see just how fast that 11 car is now as we come through down towards the hairpin, approaching 13 laps to go here in the Toyota Save Mart 350 at Sonoma Raceway now, as Kyle Busch is actually overtaken Joey Logano. He has moved up now into that 5th position here. As you see at the end of lap 1, Hamlin out of that final corner just destroyed us now as we go into the helmet cam. First time in a little bit that the helmet cam has appeared now as we come through these first couple corners now, as Elliott and Bowman try to run us down, as you can just see the 11 driving away now as we come through this first sector of the course. So a little bit of a confidence destroyer that was. Now as I thought we were going to have a chance to win, as I make a bit of a mistake there, open up the door for the 9 to actually lunge up my right hand side into the corner. That caught me way off guard. I end up going wide now as we come through out of the corner, and then Kyle Busch tries to attack as well. So a bit of a mistake that allowed the 9 to lunge up the inside. That caught me off guard. Then I went wide out of that corner now as we go down into the carousel. So now all of a sudden we drop down into P4 behind the 48 of Alex Bowman, who's having yet another good run here today in Sonoma. But definitely a little bit frustrating for that to happen now, as I thought we could still maybe just run really good laps and maintain with Hamlin. At least now as the 48 though goes up the inside of the 9 of Elliott. They come together a little bit now as we're going to try to attack now up the right hand side of the 9 of Chase Elliott. So we move back into P3, putting the attack on the back of the 48 of Bowman, who finished second at Michigan, runner up to the McLaren of Eric Jones, and now is in second again as I get sideways though, and now on lap 19 as we make another mistake. Elliott, he had dropped quite considerably too at this point, and now I have as well. Now is Kyle Busch, Logano, they get past. Logano's chomping my nose. He says, "You're not getting by me without a fight." So now as we go down into the right-hander, getting into the back of Logano, sending him sideways there, and now that causes me to go wide again in the same corner, opening the door for Elliott to go by on the right-hand side, and now the frustration was building a ton for me here now as I lunge back up the inside of the 9 of Elliott into the carousel. We retake the 5th position, but now I was looking at it like we're going to need a caution if we want to have any chance at all to win this race now, as I lunge up again the inside of the 22, and I got a little bit physical again with him, and we make the pass happen now as we move back into P4. Then we get to Kyle Busch on lap 20 into the hairpin, lunge up the inside of him, and we move back up into the 3rd spot. But like I said, definitely was frustrated at this point as Hamlin was like 8 seconds ahead of me or something like that. Now as actually we came through on lap 21, there was actually a big moment there. Quinn Houff just drove under Daniel Suarez, as well as the 41 of Cole Custer, and the green flag stayed out. Not sure how in the world that happens. I did turn the cautions down to relax yellows, but I would anticipate when someone drives under 2 cars at Sonoma Raceway, a caution might come out now, as that was not expected, and that would have been really nice if we got a caution out of that. But that was just a moment that happened there on lap 21. So we came through though with less than 10 laps to go at this point, trying to run down Alex Bowman at least, and I had written off the chances of running down Denny Hamlin at this point now, as I knew the field was still pretty close right now, but it was looking like we were going to be about maybe half a lap or so to the good. So I really wasn't concerned about the field situation. I was just trying to run down Alex Bowman, and I was still frustrated making mistakes and whatnot, but I finally was able to just kind of focus and just try to set good, clean laps and run down this 48 of Bowman for that 2nd position. There's always a possibility for something to happen to the leader of Denny Hamlin, like a mechanical issue or an engine blowing or something like that, tire failure and whatnot. So I was doing everything I could to run down that 48 just in case, or if a caution comes out, we're in great position. We'll be lining up on the front row with Hamlin on the right side, the preferred lane, for a restart in my opinion, at Sonoma Raceway. So we came through to 4 laps to go. A very calm final stage this was, other than, of course, Quinn Houff driving under 2 cars of Daniel Suarez and Cole Custer. But we come through to 3 laps to go, continuing to close the gap to the back of the 48 of Alex Bowman. Denny Hamlin, he was now running into lap traffic at this point here as we came through, closing up right to the back of the 48 now, as I finally was able to focus, and it was paying off because we closed that gap very quickly to Bowman lunging up the left-hand side into the carousel now as I go for a bit of a slide, nearly making contact, but we keep it clean, and we take over the runner-up position from Alex Bowman now, just really trying to hang on for P2 for this race here as we go down, approaching into this final hairpin here, approaching now 2 laps to go now, as there's actually trouble in front of us a little bit down the track now. William Byron has crashed. It appears he's actually blown an engine. Now he's trying to go rock climbing or something like that now, as he's hitting some barriers. He doesn't know what he's doing, and I would actually end up approaching William Byron, who would get going, so we were coming through. Now with 2 laps to go, I had no idea, of course, that this was happening at the time, now as I caught this in the replay, but we came around, and sure enough, there's William Byron finally got himself going now with about a lap and a half to go here in Sonoma. We had opened up the gap to Alex Bowman, and now William Byron has become a ghost as we go into the carousel. Not sure what is going on here today in Sonoma. The 00 driving under people. We got a ghost car on the track. It was just a mess at this point here. As you see me briefly check the fuel on the dash now as we come through, approaching the final lap in Sonoma Raceway, just trying to hang on to second place, hoping a caution comes out now as we go down towards this final hairpin. As it appears, Denny Hamlin, the leader, is coming into the pit lane as we approach the final lap in Sonoma, as he has handed the lead to myself as we come through to the final lap. Alex Bowman stays out. No need for us to come into the pit lane, but Hamlin, I guess, decided he could not make it to the finish. I look at the field, it was 10 on the dash, so I knew we were going to be okay now here on this final lap, but that caught us way off guard. A huge turn of events as we were just hanging on for a second place finish, and Hamlin has thrown away the victory as he was hands down the fastest car here today in Sonoma. So now we're just bringing it home at this point. No pressure from Alex Bowman, so that pass we made earlier was a race for the win. Little did we know, with Alex Bowman as I lunge up the right hand side here of Cole Custer, and we will now put him a lap down. I did not quite expect to be lapping people at Sonoma Raceway, to say the least, but here we are doing it now as we go down into the carousel for the final time here in Sonoma. Hopped up on 2 wheels just for a second, but fortunately that did not go wrong now as we come through out of the carousel, just bringing it home at this point now as the field was down to 7. So I knew, though, for sure after I saw that we were okay, and we just had to bring this car home over the 48 of Alex Bowman, who's going to finish runner-up once again, it looks like, for 2 races in a row, just like it did in Michigan. Now as we're running down our teammate of Kyle Larson here on the final lap, now as we go down into the S's for the final time in this final sector of Sonoma Raceway, and what looked like a second place finish coming to the final lap. Denny Hamlin, we had absolutely nothing for him all race long, really, and then he comes into the pit lane approaching the final lap because he doesn't think he can make it on fuel. So we go through now into this final hairpin, looking at win number 3 on the season as we're right on the back of our teammate of Kyle Larson, and sure enough, we come through out of the final hairpin, and for the 3rd time this season, we are going to come through to pick up the victory here at Sonoma Raceway. Good stuff, boys. That was very unexpected, but hey, I'll take it whatever way we can get it. Win number 3 on the season. Let's go. There you hear myself on the radio. Like I said, very unexpected turn of events at the end there, with Hamlin just saying, you know what, I don't want to win. Gary can go have it here. So we do our burnout now for the 3rd time this season. Talladega, Martinsville, and now at a road course of Sonoma Raceway. Very happy to pick up the victory for you guys. And now that separates us from the other drivers with 2 wins and puts us up top with the most wins on the season. And now we will be once again at the very top of the playoff grid. So very happy to pick up that victory now as we will check out the finishing order on your screen. So Bowman and Elliott there are 2nd and 3rd. So Hendrick Motorsports 1, 2, 3 would have been awesome if Larson could have got 4th. So it would have been a 1, 2, 3, 4 sweep for a Hendrick Motorsports, but Larson actually finished terribly. We nearly put him a lap down there in P28, so that was very unfortunate for him. Ryan Blaney, Daniel Suarez, they DNF, so Blaney 40th, Suarez down there in 39th, as you see the points there on your screen. So overall, a very interesting episode to say the least. We DNF in Michigan, which made it 2 races in a row without a top 10. Then we back it up with a surprise victory at Sonoma Raceway. So overall, a great episode, an interesting episode. Would love to hear your thoughts on it now as you see the playoff grid here, though, for the Xfinity Series and whatnot, and then the Truck Series. Haley Deegan still has not won an Xfinity Series race, but she's doing actually very good in the points, if you don't count the playoff grid. Now, as we lead the playoff grid, though, on the Cup Series side of things, William Byron down there in P10. Then we check out the very bottom of the grid. Cindric back in the playoffs. Gregson out by 5. Custer 9. Bowman, who was over 40 points out 1 race ago, is now 12 points below the cut line. So very interesting to see how that's going to just shape out for the rest of this regular season. But before we end it, just want to say thank you to the Going Racing members of MJ, Aiden, Tony, Dylan, Joseph, RJ, Timothy, Bubba Jr., Mr. Johnson, NASCAR on Docks, Devin Roth, Eric Chouette, as well as Matthias Hansen. Thank you all for being a part of the program. I really appreciate it. And thank you, everybody, for taking the time out of their day to watch this episode. I will see you guys in the next one for Chicagoland. Have a great day, everybody.